She said, "I can't believe you're making a big deal out of one kiss." I said, "You're right, it's not a big deal." Then I walked out, blocked her number, and took the dog. Her one kiss turned into a one-bedroom apartment she couldn't afford. All right, Reddit, buckle up. This happened about 6 months ago, and I'm finally ready to share the absolute train wreck that was my relationship with my ex. Quick warning, this gets messy, involves one very manipulative woman, and ends with her learning that actions have consequences. Let's get into it. I'm 31 male, live in Denver, own my condo outright, paid off Forerunner, decent retirement account. My dad raised me right after my mom passed, taught me to save money and never depend on anyone to take care of what's mine. The most important thing in my life was Duke, my 3-year-old German Shepherd. That dog went everywhere with me. Morning runs, weekend hikes, even hung out at my office sometimes. Duke was my boy. I met Caitlin, 29 female, about 2.5 years ago. Gorgeous brunette. Worked as a social media manager. Made decent money, but lived in a studio she complained about constantly. After 6 months of dating, she moved into my 2-bedroom condo. We split utilities and groceries 50-50, but I covered the mortgage since it was my place. Looking back, red flags were everywhere. She wanted to redecorate everything with expensive West Elm furniture. Complained about Duke constantly, his fur, his energy, wanting a smaller, less active dog. Started coming up short on her half of bills, and I'd cover it. $300 here, $400 there. She'd promised to pay me back, but never did. It's $300, babe. I thought we were partners. Partners help each other out. Meanwhile, she's posting Instagram stories from expensive restaurants and showing off new designer bags. My buddy Nathan noticed it first over lunch. "Dude, you make good money and have zero debt. How are you stressed about finances?" "I don't know, man. Just feels like everything costs more than it used to." "Is Caitlin paying her share?" I hesitated. Mostly. Nathan had been through similar stuff with his ex. "Bro, you need to have a conversation about that. Don't let someone drain your accounts because you're too nice to say no." Things came to a head one Friday night in late April. I got home around 6 p.m. Caitlin was getting ready to go out. "Girls' night?" I asked. "Yeah, meeting Ashley and Brittany downtown." "Don't wait up." I grabbed Duke for our evening run, came back around 8 p.m., and settled in to watch hockey. Around 10:30, I opened Instagram. Caitlin had posted a story, her and her girlfriends at some trendy restaurant. Normal stuff, except in the background, I saw Blake, this guy from her gym she'd mentioned a few times. Personal trainer type, except Blake wasn't just in the background. Next story showed him sitting at their table, arm around Ashley's chair, but positioned way too close to Caitlin. Then a video of them all doing shots. Caitlin was laughing, leaning into Blake, his hand definitely on her lower back. I stared at my phone. She told me repeatedly she didn't drink, that it wasn't her thing. Yet here she was, throwing back shots with some gym bro's hand on her. I texted her, "Having fun?" No response. Texted again at 11. "When are you heading home?" Nothing. Called twice. Voicemail. Finally, around 1 a.m. "Staying at Ashley's tonight. Too late to drive." Ashley lived 15 minutes away. But whatever. Saturday morning, Caitlin strolled in around 11 a.m. wearing the same outfit. Makeup smudged. Classic walk of shame look. "Can we talk?" I asked. "You said girls' night, but I saw Blake in your stories. He just happened to be there." I showed her the photo with his hand on her back. "This looks like more than just running into someone. You're being paranoid. Blake's just a friend. You weren't honest about who you'd be with. Because I knew you'd react like this. You're so insecure." "I'm not insecure. I'm asking why you lied." She got more defensive, turned everything around on me. "Did anything happen with Blake?" I asked directly. "No, nothing happened. We're friends." That's it. Something felt off, but I let it go. For now. That night, after she fell asleep, I tried her phone. She'd changed her passcode. Used to be her birthday. Now something different. That sent my alarm bells ringing. Monday, I called Nathan. Told him about Friday. The defensive reaction, the changed passcode. "Check the phone records," he said. "You're on a family plan together, right?" That evening, I logged into the phone account. Pulled up her lines activity from the past month. Hundreds of texts to a number I didn't recognize. Calls, too. Some lasting over an hour. The activity had exploded in the last 2 weeks. Tuesday night, I tried a different passcode on her phone. Blake's gym location number. It worked. I went straight to messages. Found Blake's contact. It was worse than I thought. Full emotional affair. Edging into physical. Messages about missing each other. About how amazing Friday night was. Then I found it. Saturday morning message. "Last night was incredible. I know you feel guilty, but you can't live your life for someone else. Her response. I know, it's just complicated. He's such a good guy, and I don't want to hurt him. But you're right, Blake. You know what you want. You just need to be brave enough to take it. I took photos of the key messages, put her phone back, and went to sleep in the guest bedroom. Duke followed me. Good dog. Wednesday morning, I woke up with absolute clarity. Called in sick, waited for Caitlin to leave, then got to work. Removed Caitlin as authorized user on my credit cards. Changed banking passwords. Called utilities. Removed her as authorized user on everything. Went through the condo, pulled out anything that was mine. Her stuff, I left exactly where it was. Called my lawyer buddy Derek. Explained the situation. You're solid, he said. It's your condo, your mortgage. She has no legal claim. You need to give her written notice to vacate. 30 days. Spent the rest of the morning gathering documentation. Bank statements, property tax receipts, insurance, everything in my name. Created a notice to vacate document. Called my dad around noon. What do you need, son? Advice. Caitlin's cheating. I've got proof. I want her out. Smart move calling me first. Document everything. And son, don't let her talk you out of this. She made her choice. I know, Dad. And the dog? Duke's mine. Registered in my name only. Good. Dogs are family. By 5 p.m., I was ready. Printed out the text messages, phone records, financial documents, created a timeline, prepared the notice to vacate document. Caitlin got home around 6, same as usual. I heard her key in the door. Heard her call out, "Hey babe, I'm home," in that fake cheerful voice. Duke lifted his head from where he was lying at my feet, but didn't get up to greet her. Smart boy. I was sitting at the kitchen table with my laptop and a manila folder. She walked in, saw my setup, and immediately tensed. "What's going on?" she asked carefully. "We need to talk. Sit down." She sat across from me, trying to look casual, but I could see her hands shaking slightly. "Okay, what's up?" I opened the folder, slid the printed text messages across the table. "Want to tell me about Blake?" Her face went white. She picked up the first page, eyes scanning the messages. Her messages, her words, her affair laid out in black and white. "Where did you get these?" Her voice was barely a whisper. "Doesn't matter where I got them. What matters is they exist. You've been cheating on me with Blake for at least the past month, probably longer. It's not..." She was scrambling, trying to find the right words. "It's not what it looks like." "Really? Because it looks like you've been having an affair with your personal trainer, lying about girls' nights so you could see him, staying at his place, planning to leave me." Tears started streaming down her face. "I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. It just happened. I didn't mean for it to go this far." "You didn't mean for it to go this far? Caitlin, you've been texting this guy hundreds of times, meeting up with him, lying to me repeatedly. None of that just happened." I know, but it didn't mean anything. He doesn't mean anything. I love you." There it was, the predictable response. I stayed completely calm. "If I meant anything to you, you wouldn't have done this in the first place. Please, we can work through this. I'll stop seeing him. I'll change. I'll do whatever you want." I slid the notice to vacate across the table. "You have 30 days to find a new place and move out." She stared at the document like it was written in a foreign language. "What? No, you can't kick me out. I live here. You've been living here as a guest. This is my condo. I'm the only one on the mortgage, the deed, everything. Legally, you have no claim to this place. But we've been together for over 2 years. That has to count for something. It counted until you decided to cheat. Actions have consequences." The tears were coming harder now. "Please don't do this. Where am I supposed to go? That's not my problem to solve. Maybe Blake has room at his place." She flinched like I'd slapped her. "That's not fair. What's not fair is lying to me for months. What's not fair is using my home, my resources, my phone plan, while you sneak around with another guy. You made your choice, Caitlin. Now live with it." "It was just a kiss," she suddenly shouted, standing up. "One kiss. That's all it was. You're destroying our entire relationship over one stupid kiss." I stood up too, staying eerily calm. "According to your texts, it was more than just a kiss. And even if it was only a kiss, you still lied. You still cheated. You still betrayed my trust. I can't believe you're making such a big deal out of one kiss," she said, her voice taking on this incredulous tone like I was being unreasonable. "People make mistakes. You're supposed to forgive me. That's what people in relationships do." I stared at her for a long moment. Then I said the words I'd been practicing all afternoon. "You're right. It's not a big deal." Her face lit up with hope. "Exactly. So we can..." "Which is why it should be easy for you to move on. If it wasn't a big deal to you, it shouldn't be a big deal to find a new place to live." The hope died instantly. That's not what I meant. I know exactly what you meant. You want me to minimize your cheating, pretend it doesn't matter, and continue letting you live here rent-free while you figure out whether you want to be with me or Blake. That's not happening. You're being cruel. I'm being practical. You wanted to see what else was out there? Congratulations. You're about to find out. She tried a different tactic. What about Duke? He's my dog too. No, he's not. Duke is registered in my name. I bought him before you moved in. I pay all his vet bills. You don't even walk him. He's mine. You can't just take him from me? I'm not taking him from you. He was never yours. And frankly, Duke doesn't even like you that much. He tolerates you because you live here. As if on cue, Duke walked over and sat at my feet, leaning against my leg. He hadn't moved from my side since this conversation started. Caitlin looked between me and Duke, tears streaming down her face. I made one mistake? One? And you're just throwing everything away? One mistake that you made repeatedly over several weeks. One mistake you lied about. One mistake you were planning to continue making. So yeah, I'm throwing it away. You already did. She collapsed back into her chair, sobbing. I waited, letting her have her moment. When she finally looked up, her mascara was running down her face. Can we please talk about this like adults? She asked, her voice small. We are. I'm calmly giving you 30 days to find new accommodations. That's very adult of me. I could have thrown your stuff on the lawn and changed the locks tonight. But where am I supposed to go? Again, not my problem. Maybe Ashley's couch. Maybe Blake's place. Maybe your parents. You're a grown woman with a job. Figure it out. My parents live in California. I can't just move back there. Then find an apartment. I can't afford an apartment on my own. You know what rent costs in Denver. There it was. The real issue. She couldn't afford her lifestyle without me subsidizing it. Should have thought about that before you started cheating. You've had plenty of time to save money instead of buying new clothes and going out to expensive dinners. You're enjoying this, aren't you? Her sadness was morphing into anger. You're getting off on watching me panic. I'm not enjoying anything. I'm just not going to feel guilty for protecting myself from someone who betrayed me. She stood up again, this time with more energy. Fine, fine. If that's how you want to play this, I'll move out. I'll be out by tomorrow. You have 30 days. Use them to find something decent. I'm not trying to make you homeless. Oh, how generous of you, she spat. Such a gentleman, giving me 30 days to ruin my life. I'm not ruining your life, Caitlin. You did that yourself. I'm just choosing not to be part of the cleanup. She grabbed her purse and her phone from the table. I'm going to Ashley's tonight. I can't be in this house with you right now. That's fine. But when you come back to pack, I need advance notice. This is my home, and I deserve to know when you'll be here. Whatever. This is insane. You're insane. She stormed toward the door, then turned back. And Blake? He's twice the man you'll ever be. He actually makes me feel alive instead of just stable. Good for you. Hope stability isn't important when you're figuring out how to pay rent. She slammed the door so hard the picture frames on the wall shook. Duke barked once, then settled back down at my feet. I sat there for a moment, listening to her car start and peel out of the parking lot. Then I did what I'd been planning all day. I picked up my phone and started making calls. First call, phone company. Hi, I need to remove a line from my family plan. Yes, immediately. No, she's aware. She's moving out. The representative started processing the removal. The line will be disconnected within the hour. She'll need to port her number to a new carrier, or it will be released. Perfect, thank you. Second call. Netflix, Hulu, Spotify, Amazon Prime, all the streaming services she used. Removed her profile from each one, changed all the passwords. Third call. My insurance agent. Caitlin had been on my auto insurance as a listed driver, even though she had her own car and insurance. Removed her from my policy, effective immediately. Fourth call. My dad. It's done. She's moving out. How'd she take it? About as well as expected. Cried, got angry, tried to guilt me, then stormed out claiming Blake is better than me. Classic. You doing okay? Honestly, Dad, I feel relieved. Like I've been holding my breath for months and can finally exhale. Good. That's the right reaction. Means you made the right choice. You need anything? Nah, I'm good. Duke and I are just going to have a quiet night. All right. Call if you need anything. Proud of you, son. Not every guy has the spine to walk away when he should. I hung up and looked at Duke. Just you and me now, buddy. He wagged his tail and rested his head on my lap. The rest of that evening was quiet. I made dinner, caught up on work emails, took Duke for a long walk. It felt surreal how normal everything was. Like I just removed a constant background noise I hadn't realized was bothering me. Around 10 p.m., my phone started buzzing. Texts from Caitlin's number, except they weren't going through. Good, I thought. The phone line disconnect had already processed. Then texts started coming from other numbers. Ashley, you need to let Caitlin back in the apartment. She's having a breakdown. I replied, she has a key. She can come back whenever she wants. She chose to leave. Ashley, you're being unreasonable. She made one mistake and you're destroying her. Tell her she has 30 days to find a new place. After that, I'm not discussing this with anyone except her. Blocked Ashley's number. More texts from other numbers. Brittany, some girl named Megan I'd never heard of, Caitlin's mom. All with variations of the same theme. I was being too harsh. Caitlin deserved another chance. I was throwing away a good relationship over nothing. I blocked them all. This wasn't a democracy. This was my life, my home, and my decision. Thursday morning, I woke up actually well-rested for the first time in weeks. Duke and I did our morning run, I made breakfast, and I headed to work feeling lighter than I had in months. Around 10 a.m., I got an email from Caitlin using her work address. Andrew, I know you're mad at me right now, and you have every right to be. What I did was wrong, and I regret it more than you know. But we've been together for over 2 years. That has to mean something. Can we please just talk? Really talk? I promise I'll be completely honest about everything. I'll answer any questions you have. I'll do whatever it takes to earn back your trust. I love you, and I don't want to lose you. Please give me one more chance. I read it twice. It was a good email. Hit all the right emotional notes. Acknowledged fault, promised change. A few weeks ago, it might have worked, but I'd seen her text messages with Blake. I'd watched her lie to my face repeatedly. I knew the pattern. She wasn't sorry she cheated. She was sorry she got caught. And she was panicking because she just realized what her lifestyle was about to become. I didn't reply. Just archived the email and got back to work. That afternoon, Derek called. How'd it go last night? Exactly as expected. She tried to minimize it as one kiss, cried when that didn't work, got angry, stormed out, and is now trying to rally her friends to guilt me into taking her back. You holding firm? Absolutely. She's got 30 days to move out. I've already started disconnecting her from my accounts. Good man. Document everything. The notice, any texts or emails, everything. You won't need it unless she tries something crazy, but better to have it. Will do. Thanks for the advice. Anytime. Hey, you want to grab dinner tomorrow? Get your mind off this? Yeah, that sounds good. Friday rolled around. I'd heard nothing from Caitlin directly, just more texts from her friends that I immediately blocked. I was starting to think maybe she was actually going to handle this like an adult. I was wrong. Friday evening around 6 p.m., I got home from work to find Caitlin's car in the parking lot. Fine, I thought. She's probably here to pack some stuff. I'd told her she needed to give me advance notice, but whatever. As long as she was taking her things and making progress toward moving out, I could deal. Except when I walked into the condo, nothing had been packed. Caitlin was sitting on the couch, makeup perfect, hair styled, wearing a dress I'd never seen before. Candles were lit on the coffee table, music playing softly. Duke was locked in the guest bedroom. I could hear him scratching at the door. What is this? I asked, immediately suspicious. She stood up, nervous smile on her face. I made us dinner. It's in the kitchen. I thought we could have a nice evening together and really talk about everything. Caitlin, this is inappropriate. You're supposed to be packing and looking for apartments. I know, but I really think if we just sit down and talk, really talk, you'll see that we can work through this. I made your favorite, chicken parmesan. I walked past her to the guest room and let Duke out. He immediately came to my side, staying between me and Caitlin. I'm not interested in having dinner with you. You need to take some of your belongings and continue making arrangements to move out. Her face fell. You won't even give me one evening? After everything we've been through together? After everything you put me through, you mean? The lying, the cheating, the using my home and resources while seeing someone else. No, I'm not interested in dinner. But I broke up with Blake, she said quickly. Wednesday night after I left here. I told him it was over. I chose you. Doesn't that count for something? You broke up with Blake after I caught you and gave you notice to move out. That's not choosing me. That's your backup plan falling through. That's not fair. I'm trying to make this right. By ambushing me with dinner and candles? By trying to manipulate me into forgetting what happened? That's not making it right, Caitlin. That's you refusing to accept consequences. She started crying again. Why are you being so cold? I apologized. I'm trying. What more do you want from me? I want you to use these 30 days to find somewhere else to live. That's it. That's the only thing I want from you. I can't afford to live alone, you know that. I've been looking at apartments and everything is either too expensive or in a terrible area. Then get a roommate, or two. Other people manage to afford rent in Denver. You can too. This is so unfair, she said, her voice rising. I made one mistake. One. And you're just going to throw me out on the street? You're not on the street. You have 27 days left to figure it out. And it wasn't one mistake. It was dozens of choices you made every single day to lie to me, to see him, to betray my trust. She wiped her eyes. Makeup smearing. What about Duke? You can't seriously keep him from me. I love him too. Duke is staying with me. We already discussed this. But he's my emotional support animal. Duke is not registered as an emotional support animal. He's my dog. Period. She looked at Duke, who was sitting at my feet staring at her with what I swear was judgment in his eyes. Duke, come here, boy. Come to mama. Duke didn't move. Just looked at her, then back at me. See, I said. He's not your dog. He's my dog. He's always been my dog. She tried one more tactic. Fine. Keep Duke, keep the condo, but you need to help me financially. You can't just cut me off completely. I need first month's rent and a deposit. That's like $3,000 minimum. No. What do you mean no? I mean no. I'm not giving you money to move out after you cheated on me. That's absurd. But I don't have that kind of money saved? You've been living here for 18 months paying minimal expenses. Where did all your money go? She didn't have an answer for that. We both knew where it went. Clothes, restaurants, spa treatments, all the Instagram-worthy lifestyle content she posted while claiming she was broke. Figure it out, Caitlin. You're an adult with a job. Time to start acting like it. She grabbed her purse and headed for the door, this time without the dramatics. You're going to regret this, she said quietly. When you're alone and miserable, you're going to remember what you had and realize you threw it away over pride. I'm throwing away someone who cheated on me and lied to my face repeatedly. If that makes me prideful, I'm okay with that. She left, and I immediately locked the door behind her. Then I called my landlord. Technically, I owned the condo, but there was a building management company, and explained the situation. Asked if I could have the locks changed. You're the owner, the manager said. You can change your locks whenever you want. But legally, since she's been living there, you need to provide her access until the 30 days are up. What if I give her a new key and just want to make sure she's not making copies? That's your call, but she'd still have legal access until the notice period expires. Fair enough. I called a locksmith and had them come out that night. New locks installed by 10 p.m. Cost me $400, but worth every penny for the peace of mind. Saturday morning, I texted Caitlin from my new number. I'd gotten a new SIM card. Locks have been changed. You can pick up a new key from me between 2 and 4 p.m. today. After that, you'll need to schedule access times with 24-hour advance notice. She showed up at 2:30 with Ashley in tow for support. I handed her the new key through the barely opened door. You need to give me more access than this, she said. How am I supposed to pack if I can only come here with advance notice? You can come anytime during the 30-day notice period. You just need to tell me when. It's my home. I deserve to know when you'll be here. This is ridiculous, Ashley interjected. You're treating her like a criminal. I looked at Ashley. She cheated on me in my own home that I was providing for her. She lied to me repeatedly. She used my resources while seeing someone else. And now she's upset that I'm setting boundaries. If you think that's treating her like a criminal, I don't know what to tell you. She made one mistake. Actually, she made many mistakes over many weeks. But even if it was just one, it was a deal breaker. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have plans. I closed the door and went back inside. Duke was waiting for me, tail wagging. We grabbed his leash and headed out for a long hike in the mountains. Best Saturday I'd had in months. The next 2 weeks were a masterclass in watching someone realize they'd screwed themselves. Caitlin came by the condo 4 times to pack boxes, always with at least one friend for support, and always trying to engage me in conversation about working things out. I stayed polite but firm. Use this time to pack. That's what it's for. She'd found an apartment, she told me on her second visit, but it wasn't available until the 1st of next month, 2 weeks after her 30-day notice expired. Could she please have an extension? No. You have 30 days from the notice date. That's May 15th. If your new place isn't ready until June 1st, you'll need to find temporary accommodations. But where am I supposed to stay for 2 weeks? That's not my problem to solve. Maybe Ashley's couch? Maybe a hotel? Maybe Blake has space after all. She flinched at the mention of Blake's name. I told you that's over. I'm not seeing him anymore. Okay. You don't even care, do you? You don't care that I'm struggling. You don't care that this is destroying me. You just want to punish me. I want you to move out. Everything else is you dealing with the consequences of your own choices. She tried a new angle. What about the money I put into this place? I paid utilities for 18 months. I bought groceries. I contributed to this household. You paid half of utilities most months, and you bought groceries for yourself. You never paid rent. You never contributed to the mortgage. You have no financial claim to this condo. But morally, Morally, you shouldn't have cheated on someone who was housing you. We can talk about morals when you figured that part out. Her friends started a campaign on social media. Nothing directly naming me, but lots of posts about toxic relationships and controlling men and financial abuse. I didn't engage, didn't respond, just lived my life and let them spiral. Nathan found the post hilarious. Dude, they're trying to make you sound like some kind of villain for checks notes, not letting your ex-girlfriend who cheated on you continue living rent-free in your condo. The horror. Right? The audacity is impressive. Brittany commented on one of Ashley's posts that you destroyed a woman's life over one kiss. I almost commented back, but figured you probably don't want me fighting your battles. I appreciate the restraint. Let them have their echo chamber. Reality will catch up with them soon enough. Reality caught up with Caitlin on May 14th, one day before she had to be out. She came by to grab her last few boxes and found me packing up her remaining items myself. What are you doing? She asked, watching me carefully place her clothes in boxes. Your 30 days are up tomorrow. I wanted to make sure everything was packed and ready to go. I still have things in the bathroom and the closet. I packed those too. Everything's labeled. You just need to load it into your car. She looked at the stack of boxes, at the condo that had been her home for 18 months, at Duke sitting calmly at my feet, completely unfazed by her presence. This is really happening, isn't it? She said quietly. You're really making me leave. Your choices made you leave. I'm just enforcing the natural consequences. I don't know how I'm going to do this. Living alone, paying all my own bills. I've never had to do that. Then you're going to learn. That's part of being an adult. What if I can't afford it? What if I fail? I stopped packing and looked at her. Caitlin, that's not my concern anymore. You made decisions that ended our relationship. Now you get to make decisions that build your new life. Maybe you'll figure it out and thrive. Maybe you'll struggle and have to make changes. Either way, it's your journey now. She started crying, but this time it seemed more genuine. Less manipulation. More actual grief over what she'd lost. I really did love you, she said. I know you don't believe me, but I did. I don't know. I got caught up in something that felt exciting and I made stupid choices. I believe you loved what I provided. The stability, the comfortable home, the financial security. But you didn't love me enough to be faithful. You didn't respect me enough to be honest. And that's not love. I'm sorry. For all of it. For hurting you. For lying. For everything. I appreciate that. Genuinely. But it doesn't change anything. She wiped her eyes and started loading boxes into her car. It took about an hour to get everything. When she was done, she stood at the door one last time. Can I at least say goodbye to Duke? I looked down at Duke, who was watching her with complete indifference. You can try. She knelt down. Hey buddy, I'm going to miss you. Duke just stared at her. Didn't move forward for pets, didn't wag his tail, nothing. After a moment, she stood up. I guess he's made his choice too, she said with a sad smile. Dogs are good judges of character. Goodbye, Andrew. Take care of yourself, Caitlin. She walked out and I closed the door behind her. Locked it. Stood there for a moment. Then looked down at Duke. Just us now, buddy. Like it should have been all along. He wagged his tail and headed for his food bowl. Business as usual. The next few months were surprisingly peaceful. I deep cleaned the condo, got rid of the last remnants of Caitlin's influence, weird decorative pillows she'd insisted on, scented candles I'd never liked, a piece of abstract art that looked like someone had thrown paint at a canvas and called it a day. Redecorated the guest bedroom as a proper home office. Bought new furniture I actually liked. Hung up my own artwork. Mainly landscape photography I'd collected over the years. Work was going well. I'd been focused and productive without the constant background stress of a failing relationship. Got a promotion in July with a nice salary bump. Used some of that money to take a solo vacation to Montana in August. Duke and I spent a week hiking in Glacier National Park. Best trip I'd ever taken. Nathan started dating someone new. A woman named Jennifer who worked in finance. We'd all hang out sometimes. Me, Nathan, Jennifer, and occasionally Derek. Good people who didn't create drama, didn't lie, didn't cheat. Just genuine friendships. One Saturday in September, Nathan and I were having brunch when we ran into Caitlin. She was with some guy I didn't recognize. Not Blake, someone new. She looked different. Tired. The shine I remembered was gone. Andrew, she said, stopping at our table. Hey, how are you? Good. How are you? I'm managing. She glanced at the guy she was with, who looked uncomfortable. This is Jordan. Jordan, this is Andrew, my ex. Nice to meet you, Jordan said politely. You too. Awkward silence. Then Caitlin asked, how's Duke? He's great. Happy and healthy. That's good. I miss him sometimes. I'm sure you do. More awkward silence. Finally, Jordan cleared his throat. We should probably get going. Nice meeting you, Andrew. You too. They left, and Nathan waited until they were out of earshot. Dude, she looked rough. Yeah, consequences hit different when you can't avoid them. You feel bad? I thought about it. No, I feel nothing. Like running into an old coworker I barely remember. Whatever I felt for her died when I saw those text messages. That's healthy, man. Means you've moved on. He was right. I had moved on. Not by finding someone new immediately. I was taking my time with that, learning to enjoy my own company and my freedom, but by recognizing that Caitlin and her drama were in the past, where they belonged. Through mutual acquaintances, I heard bits and pieces about her life after she moved out. She'd found a studio apartment in a less desirable part of town, paying $1,600 a month for about 400 square feet. Had to sell her car and buy something cheaper because she couldn't afford the payment anymore. Was working a second part-time job on weekends to make ends meet. Blake had apparently moved on to another woman at the gym within 2 weeks of Caitlin breaking things off. She'd tried to reconcile with several ex-boyfriends before meeting Jordan, who worked in customer service and made about what she made, meaning no one was subsidizing anyone's lifestyle. Her Instagram, which used to be full of carefully curated lifestyle content, now mostly consisted of reposts and the occasional sad girl quote. In short, she was living the life of a single 29-year-old woman with no financial safety net and poor spending habits. The life she'd signed up for when she chose to cheat. Meanwhile, I was thriving. Duke and I had gotten into trail running. I'd taken up woodworking as a hobby, converting half of the garage into a workshop, made a coffee table, some shelves, even built Duke a custom dog bed that he loved. Started dating casually in October. Nothing serious, just meeting people, having fun. After Caitlin, I was in no rush to commit to anyone. But it was nice to remember that there were women out there who were honest, independent, and didn't view relationships as financial arrangements. One night in November, Derek called. Hey, remember Caitlin? Unfortunately, she tried to file a claim against you. Said you owed her money for contributions to household expenses during the relationship. You're kidding. Wish I was. Her lawyer sent a demand letter. Wants $15,000. Based on what? Based on nothing. I already sent a response with your documentation showing you paid 100% of the mortgage, property taxes, and homeowner's insurance, plus covered most household expenses. She has no legal standing. Her lawyer knows it too. This is a Hail Mary. So what happens now? Nothing. She can't afford to actually sue you, and no lawyer would take this on contingency because there's no case. This was her last desperate attempt to get money out of you. It failed. I hung up and just shook my head. Even now, months later, she was still trying to avoid consequences. Still trying to make her choices someone else's problem. That was 6 months ago. Since then, nothing. No contact, no mutual friend updates, no drama. Caitlin had faded into the background of my life where she belonged. A cautionary tale about what happens when you prioritize excitement over integrity. Last weekend, I was at a coffee shop working on a woodworking project design when I overheard 2 women talking at the next table. One was complaining about her boyfriend, how he was too focused on work and not spontaneous enough and kind of boring. Her friend asked, "But is he good to you? Does he treat you well?" "Yeah, I guess. He's super reliable and supportive and whatever. But like, where's the excitement?" I didn't say anything. Wasn't my place. But I thought about Caitlin and her pursuit of excitement. Thought about where it landed her. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that subscribe button. It really helps the channel and help us bring you more and better stories. Thanks.